Hello, hello, and welcome to another amazing We Uplift moment with Vincenzo from the Now Technique. We've talked before with Vincenzo, it's always uplifting, it's always heart centered, but whenever we talk, we try to focus on the Now Technique, on food and gardening. And the last time Vincenzo and I talked, I realized that he uses two terms quite often, so I'm going to just surprise him with a couple of questions about those. Vincenzo in Sicily getting ready for dinner. Vincenzo, when we talk, we use the term awareness a lot. And a lot of people think they are or are not aware, which are, of course, judgmental questions. To you, what is awareness?
Awareness is not the thing. Like if I'm saying a feeling is a thing I experience in awareness. I cannot objectify awareness in the same way in which I objectify a feeling, in which I objectify a thought, an emotion, a sensation. So awareness is the silent, spacious background or ground of every experience. Awareness is fluid. It moves through perception. It returns to fluidity. It kind of penetrates everything. It penetrates listening, seeing, feeling, sensing, knowing. It penetrates now. But it's not a thing. It's not a thing in the sense that in the moment in which I want to become aware of awareness, I cannot become aware of awareness because I am awareness. So it's like I can become aware of everything thanks to awareness, and awareness is already aware of itself.
Wow. So people always want to become aware. How do they do that? Because we're always talking about, I want to become aware, I want to grow, I want to...
How do we learn to walk? We learn to walk by beginning to crawl. First we lift our head, we crawl, and then we come to stand up, and then we fall. So how do we learn to be aware? We learn to be aware by looking at the things that we don't want to look. Because those things that bother us, that we try to suppress, that we try to suffocate, we try to hide, they just return. Once we look at them, they don't need to return, and we remain as awareness. We are always awareness. We don't become aware. We simply stop avoiding the things which create the noise, which confuse us and makes us forget that we are already awareness.
Now that's powerful. I hope everybody heard that. So if we're already aware, then how does awareness, if it does, how does awareness relate to happiness? Because another goal that people have, on the one hand, they want to become aware, and on the other hand, they want to be happy.
Again, it's the same thing. We are happy, but there are things that bother us, and we judge them. And because we judge them, we fight with them. And because we fight with them, then we are engaged in fighting. So if we are engaged in fighting, if we are engaged in pushing things away, we are not aware of what we are. Right? We stop fighting. We allow things to be as they are. They are there for a little moment, the time necessary for them to really show us what they mean. And what I understood, this is important for me, is that there is no single thought, or there is not a single feeling that after it has had the possibility of giving us the message, doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of opening ourselves to whatever it is there. It's a feeling, fear, it can be terror, it can be despair. We are open to really see it the way it is. It goes away like just a cloud disappearing. If we have a long history of having suppressed things, it might come up in with many faces, with
Right.
many angles, with many corners. It comes up repeatedly as dark, heavy clouds. As soon as we stop really to fight it, to suppress it, to want it to change it, to want it to manipulate it, to want it to transform it, as soon as we really become aware of it, it just disappears. It has no reality.
Right. Right.
And what is left is that awareness that before was obscured by a fight on the surface of our judgments, of our beliefs against the experiences.
So it almost sounds as if the thing or the object or whatever we call it that keeps us from embracing our awareness and embracing our happiness is what in the Now technique you call the story.
Yes, because the story is usually made of many conflicting
Mm-hmm.
elements.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is a part of ourselves which has struggled to create something, to
Mm-hmm.
become something. There's a part of ourselves which has witnessed and it has recorded all the failures.
Mm-hmm.
There is another part of ourselves which has noted and judged and sliced how bad we are. How bad we are. So all those elements together, they keep themselves alive.
Mm-hmm.
They perpetuate the conflicts and the confusion
Mm-hmm.
and this continuous struggle which we experience, but only on the surface.
Right.
Awareness is never touched.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply that we have lost ourselves in the story
Mm-hmm.
temporarily, temporarily, temporarily,
Luckily,
be-
just temporarily.
because it always returns.
Uh-huh.
Awareness always returns, it never leaves us. In the moment in which we are going to be old and we're going to be on a bed and we are not going to be too busy anymore with doing and struggling and fighting, and we will begin to be a little bit more wise, and our brain will start to just process the experiences of life. Awareness will start to break in
Hmm.
again. At least that's the experience I had with my father,
Wow.
well, who died of cancer, and only when he discovered that he was terminally ill with lung and heart cancer,
Mm.
began to really be interested in seeing what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to fight, he wanted to see, he wanted to
Wow.
understand.
Yeah.
So the now technique again
Mm-hmm.
becomes aware of all those voices, of
Right.
all those elements with an incredible precision. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes aware. It allows each one of those elements to become self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
It tells us everything. They tell us everything about themselves. And once we hear them,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of disappear and allow the knowing voice, which is trusting, which is caring, which is loving, to take over and say, okay, I saw that, I realized that, I understood that. Now I'm ready to give myself again credit. I'm ready to have again love, compassion, trust for myself and for life.
Wow. Well, Vincenzo, I'm ready.
Mm.
I'm absolutely ready to do all that. And I'm also ready, of course, to try out the Now technique hopefully soon, other than in the webinars where we always get a taste of the Now technique, just right now in the Revolution for Evolution, of course. But also, I know that you are going to, of course, have more webinars because I believe you're just starting a little bit. Oops, I jumped out there we go. I just left the video for a second.
Yes.
But you're going to do webinars yourself as well, is that correct?
Yes, as a team, we are 5 people working together.
Mm-hmm.
We have created an umbrella company which is responsible for research applied to the
Mm-hmm.
now technique. We are
Mm-hmm.
going to give our own webinars, and we are going to interview people who have done works which are coherent and consistent with the now
Mm-hmm.
technique.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to bring as much as possible of understanding and resources that support the power of awareness.
Wow. Vincenzo, I think all the work that you and your collaborators do with the Now Technique, whether it's for yourselves on Facebook or even with Whispering Energy, of course, is just amazing. So I want to thank you for all the time you spent with me today. And I also want to thank you and everybody that you work with for the Now Technique and all that you do. I do believe it is a very powerful healing tool. So I want to thank you, Vincenzo.
I thank you too.
And then I hope we will talk again soon. But this was just another We Uplift moment.